I'm attempting to make a whole wheat sourdough loaf that's not a brick. So in here I have a half a cup of my sourdough starter, 2 cups of whole wheat flour, and 1.5 cups of water. And I'm just keeping it in a warm place. And so this is called a sponge because you put half of the flour and all of the water in it. And then plus I put sourdough. So this is a total experiment, and we'll see how it goes. Here's my yeast and a little bit of warm water with some honey melted in it. This yeast is over 6 years old. I have kept yeast for over 10 years in the freezer, just taking out small amounts to keep in the refrigerator. So if you're wondering if your yeast is good, the answer is yes, if you have kept it in the freezer or the refrigerator. So this is about 2 hours after I made my sponge. And now I'm going to add the yeast. And then I'm going to also add, let me first say that this is 2 teaspoons of yeast and a 1/4 cup of very warm water and a teaspoon of honey. And I'm going to add 2 more cups of flour, and I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of salt. I'll see if I need any more water, but this is 2 cups of flour. Add it in with my salt and my yeast. I kneaded it for about 5 minutes, and it felt pretty good. And then I just greased this pan or this bowl lightly with just a little bit of lard. Gonna put it near the fireplace again. And I'll let you know how long it takes to rise. Whoa, that's pretty big. It's been an hour. I just kneaded this a little bit and then shaped it. Put it into this parchment-lined loaf pan. I don't know how big this loaf pan is. It's one of the bigger ones. It's 11:30. Okay, so I'm gonna leave it right above the fireplace because it's still warm. I might put another log in there. Yeah, it's 11:25 almost. So this is like a combination of traditional baker's yeast and sourdough. So I'm kind of doing both. So we'll see what happens. I'm making some sort of chicken fried hamburger patty, I guess. This is Hamburger salt and pepper. This is freshly ground whole wheat. This is some beaten egg. So I just make a patty, dip it in the egg on both sides, put it here on the flour, put it in a hot pan of lard, oh, listen to that adorable bird. He tries to sing a tune. Anyway, I'm not cooking it too high of heat because I want the hamburger patty to get done. It's got to get done before it gets too brown on the outside. I'm gonna make some chicken gravy to go over these patties. Just gonna Melt 2 tablespoons of butter and add 2 tablespoons of flour and stir it around and add a can of chicken broth until it thickens. Very easy to do. Just cook these until there's no red juices flowing out. Like when you push on them, it should be clear. You know, like when a hamburger is done and it's got clear juice. Just let that cook a little bit, a few minutes, so you don't have a floury taste. And then you'll just gradually pour in the chicken broth. See, it's not done because there's some pink juices coming out. Woo-hoo. Did I say gradually add? Just keep stirring until it gets a little thick. Adding some salt, pepper, and sage. That is not done yet. I'm thinking it might be done because you can see that's running clear. Yeah. I don't see, let's see, yeah, that one's clear. So we're going to call those done. Okay, that gravy was not as thick as I would have had it, so this is just some cornstarch in water. And I will pour some of this in, maybe all of it, I don't know yet. I could probably add the rest of that cornstarch. I added about half of it. Anyway, it's been about an hour. And look at this. Oh my gosh, that has risen so nicely. My last batch, just waiting for the juices to run clear. And my oven is preheated. Gonna bake the bread. I actually have it in there already. Okay, so it was in there at 400 degrees for a total of 40 minutes. Now, I never use a thermometer, but the only reason I did this time is because this is an experiment. So here's my chicken fried hamburger steak and gravy with sage in it. Mmm. Mmm. Really good. That looks done. Has a really nice crumb too. My tripod's broke, so I can't cut it and video at the same time. Much better.
Oh, it smells good. Hey, Mom.
So I was praying about whether it was better for me to do the sourdough or just use baker's yeast, because I thought about in biblical times that they didn't have baker's yeast. But the sourdough, if it's too sour, I really don't enjoy it too much. And I was asking the Lord when I woke up this morning, what should I do? Should I just wait and see if I start enjoying the sour taste? Well, I sat in this chair and look at the scripture. I opened my Bible and look at the first scriptures that my eyes landed on. Go eat your bread with joy and drink your wine with a merry heart, for God has already accepted your works. And I took that to mean that was okay for me to do whatever I have to do to eat my bread with joy. That's the way I took it. So what I did today was start off with the sourdough in the water, making a sponge with the sourdough starter so that autolyse process can sort of break down at least half of the flour. And then later on, I added the rest of the flour. And that bread is really good. It's not even sour. So I guess it's like half sourdough, you could say, and then half, more modern, the way we make it today. So, anyway, I'm really happy that I figured out a new recipe.